And a good day, everybody. Jewel here with the tropical update at J7409 weather. Today, of course, the 10th of July, 2019. It's Wednesday. And what has changed today? Well, some things have changed, but only in a couple of ways. But we're going to check it out. Here's the latest thing we've got going on now from the National Hurricane Center. Here we go. Now, this broad low-pressure area is located over the northeastern Gulf of Mexico. It's about 100 miles southwest of Apalachicola, Florida, and it's producing widespread cloudiness and disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Now, the environmental conditions are conducive, as we know, for the development of this system. And a tropical depression is expected to form today or tomorrow. Now, while the low is moving slowly westward across the northern Gulf of Mexico. Now, an Air Force Reserve Unit reconnaissance aircraft is scheduled to investigate the disturbance this afternoon, and this system could produce storm surge and tropical storm or hurricane force winds across portions of the Louisiana area, Mississippi, and upper Texas coast later this week, and interests there should closely monitor its progress. In addition, it's going to have so much rain in it, folks. In last evening's update, I showed you some places had 20 inches. That could happen. I'm not saying you would get 20 inches, but it would be possible. Very heavy rainfall from upper Texas coast to the Florida Panhandle. Now, what's going on? 2 days 90, 5 days 90. It's going to form one way or the other, folks, okay? This is what it's looking like right now. You can see where it's located just off the Florida Panhandle. But there's two factors I'm going to show you. I'm not going to go into great detail about a lot of stuff this morning. I like to wait and see as the day goes on what happens, because the longer we wait, the better grip we have on exactly what to tell you, or I do anyway. So I'm going to show you what could influence all of this. I showed you last night areas you need to prepare in. And once again, I'm going to tell you, anywhere from right up in here all the way across into here. This is what you need to do, because you need to go ahead and prepare. Make sure you've got your kit together. Make sure you've got your papers together. Make sure your pets are going to be okay. Check on the elderly, check on the handicapped, make sure your neighbors are okay. Make a plan and try to keep in communication with everybody and let everybody know how you are doing or where you are at. Okay, here's one of the deals. We have two deals we got to check out this morning. One is the wind shear, which we're going to get to in a moment. Two, we have this big old high pressure you've heard me just carry on about for days and days, pushing, keeping it in the Gulf. But now we have a high pressure here, and what will it do? Will it get strong enough? It's kind of puny right now, but will it get strong enough to kind of keep this a little further over this way? If it does, that'll make a change in the guidance pattern, and it could make a little change in the way that it develops in strength. We'll have to wait and see. As we move along in time, let's see if we can get this click through here. Here's tomorrow. Now you can see the low down there now. Watch the map. See that high moves up. That high is moving upward. Is it going to make a difference? Now, this is on the European model, okay? This is on the European model. We'll have to wait and see what happens. In agreement, it's going to form. How strong it gets remains to be seen. Exactly where it's going to go, folks, we're not going to know that today, okay? We can have a general idea. So, with this general idea, this is what you need to go by to prepare for, just in case it comes your way. Now, as we move along, we can see that that high really doesn't have that much effect on it. It keeps building and building and keeps going up and moving up and moving up, okay? Then we have those lows, and they're going to suck it on up and take it on out. And this other big high is still going to remain, as it pushed it more, remain off the eastern seaboard. Now, let's go check something else out. Okay, now here we have the GFS map for the vorticity. As you can see at 850 millibars. All right, look right down in here. You can see the energy now is in the Gulf right here. So what is going to happen? The GFS has the slower model with the high affecting this system, where the European model doesn't. So we're going to click on through here. You can see how it is beginning to build as we go through time today. That energy is building and building and building. This is tomorrow, well, midnight tonight run. You can see how it's going. We're going to click it on through. We're going to see where it takes it. It's going to take it farther to the east coming in than the west. The GFS is going to be further over this way to the east than the west, or that's what it's looking like now. By Saturday, let's see, boy, it still wants to develop. Look at that, no matter what. But see, it's coming in now and moving to the east. It's going to be coming in a different place. Then it jogs back over to the west as that high gets up and gets on out, and the low takes over, and then the low's going to start pulling it back up, as you can see. But that's what the GFS is looking like. We're going to check out the European model right quick. Here we go. We've got it set now for the same time starting out this morning. You can see right in here. This is the trail that these came off of. They didn't quite make it. They were the caboose on the end of the line, and they got snagged down. Well, here we go right here. Let's move it on through some. We're up to tomorrow. We're up to Friday. Now watch what happens. It really, with the European model, cranks on up. That's why they keep telling you. It could be tropical storm winds and surge, or it may be hurricane winds and surge. They don't know yet. I can't tell you. The National Hurricane Center can't tell you. Nobody can tell you exactly yet where it's going and how strong it's going to be. We can only estimate. And see, this comes further to the west. Right on up, and right on up. And then that low that's up above it's going to take it on out, as you can see. Tries to form again, according to this, a little bit over when it gets over the Great Lakes area up here. And look at that, going up in New York. But this remains to be seen, folks. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. It's not written in stone, okay? But don't worry. The main concern right now is the Gulf. And I think all of this stuff up here is not this system at all, okay? Only time will tell. I'd have to go back and check other maps. But this is other low pressures that's coming down from Canada. That's what this is going to be, to cause very nasty weather later on after this system is over and out with, okay? So, folks up in New York and up in these areas, don't worry about that right now, or the Great Lakes, because it's a totally different thing. This is the tropical thing down in the Gulf, where the waters in the Gulf are like 1 to 5 degrees warmer than they usually are in August. So, is the wind shear going to have any factor on it? Well, let's go check and see. We could do this with sounding models, but I like to do it like this to make it easier for you guys to see and understand. So I'm using the MyFox Hurricane upper wind shear model from the WRF, okay? As you can see, and I know these numbers about kill your eyes if you try to look, but when it's white and gray, it's like 5 to 10. When it's a light blue, it's 15 to 20. The darker the color gets, the higher the wind is. That will be the wind shear that may affect this storm. So it'll make it a little easier for you. We're going to go ahead and we're going to click on through if we can. This only goes to 72 hours. We really need it a little longer than that, but we can get an idea. Now, see, this has changed since yesterday. Where this system is hardly in any wind shear. But boom shakalaka, coming up in about 12 to 13 hours, the wind shear will start. And it's going to be in the 20s and 30s. And now, we're going to click on through, and you can see the system. See this right in here? Here's the system right in here. It's in this wind shear. So it may not have a lot of development right off the bat. And will it even develop? You can see it's still right here. It's trying to. It's not giving up at 23, 24 hours. As we move on through, we're going to click this a little faster. See the rain bands. It's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to have this wind to put up with. And that's going to affect the strength of how much a storm grows and how big it can get. Will it hang on? Yeah, it's looking like it's going to hang on for sure. In this 25 to 30 mile per hour shear wind, it's not going to go anywhere. But folks, this will affect the strength at some point. I wish it would go more than 72 hours because that's what we really need after 72 hours. But we're not going to get it. But right now we're up to 52. You can see it is still developing right along. It doesn't care about the shear wind one way or the other. This storm now has got strong enough. The shear wind doesn't look like it's going to make much of a difference at all, except maybe the storm wouldn't be quite as powerful as it could be. We're up to 64 hours. We're up to 66. Come on, let's click through. Now we're up to 68 and 70. You can see it's along the coastlines of Louisiana and also over in Texas there as we go through 71 and boom 72. And you can see it still has circulation. It's in this wind shear, but it's still formed because of the very, very, very warm waters it's in, and apparently that high is not going to affect it so much. That's what it's looking like now. It may be different this afternoon. That's why this afternoon I'll put up a map like I did yesterday to show you little better locations, but I'm telling you folks, anywhere from right in here all the way across, you need to prepare. I have done a little bit of nosing around. It could have 103 mile per hour wind gust at times. It could have all grades of things. And one thing I'm telling you for sure, I'm not going to go into the maps and stuff because I don't want to make this but so long. The rain is going to come down in barrels. 1 inch an hour, 2 inches an hour. Some places 3 inches an hour. Some places within the next, I'd say 3 to 4 days, could accumulate 3 foot of water. Please take this seriously. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to warn you. Do not be afraid. Be prepared, okay? And probably, like I say, I'll do an update this afternoon, and I'll put the map up that shows different places, and I'll use the GFS and the European model, as well as some other things. But these are some things you need to take into consideration this morning. No matter what, don't worry about the track where it's coming in. It's coming. Okay? It's going to come in around the Gulf Coast, anywhere right in here. I would leave out Alabama and the Florida Panhandle. But from Mississippi and Louisiana and eastern Texas, you guys are going to get whatever this brings, okay? Some will get more, some will get less, depending on the tracking. But right now, you can't really set anything in stone. We can only show you what it looks like may come. It hasn't even formed yet, so how do you think I or anyone else can tell you where it's going to go? This thing can bounce around for days. It all depends. But this is what it's looking like this morning, and I'll be back with a complete update this afternoon, and I'm going to try to have a live show by tomorrow evening. So with all that said and done, you know what to do, folks. It's coming. If you're in eastern Texas, if you're anywhere in Louisiana, around the coastline, or I'd say even midway and parts of Mississippi, I'd go ahead and prepare. Your time's running out. This is what it's looking like. I love you so much. I won't forget you. I will stay on top of this and put out updates. And when I put out one, please watch it in its entirety so you know what's going on. Peace, love, and kindness to all. Have a good day, a safe day, a blessed day. And thank you for watching.